You were never born to lack. You were born of divine intelligence. You are the breath of the infinite clothed in form. And yet, somewhere along the way, you began to believe in the lie of separation. The lie that said you had to earn what was already yours. The lie that said you were behind, broken, or burdensome. You wore scarcity like an identity. You repeated patterns that were never yours. You made lack a home when it was only supposed to pass through like a storm. But hear this now. The storm was never you. The silence you inherited was not sacred. It was survival. And you, beloved, are no longer required to carry what your lineage could not voice. Let your breath loosen the grip. Let your body soften around this truth. Your finances are not broken. They are simply remembering. Remembering who you are. Remembering the frequency of sufficiency. Remembering the I am that lives in your ribcage. And you are remembering that money was never the master, your word was. What if the lack you feared was never personal? What if it wasn't a punishment, but a pause? A holy interruption so you could rise and rewrite it. You did not come to earth to hustle for crumbs while carrying the code of the cosmos. You did not incarnate to beg for enough while being made of infinite supply. You are not here to apologize for existing. You are here to command the energy that already belongs to you. You did not choose lack. And more importantly, lack did not choose you. It only echoed the echo. It was repetition, not reality. Inheritance, not identity. Let this be the moment you lay it down. Let this be the moment you no longer protect the poverty story. Let this be the sacred exhale your soul has been waiting for. Say this out loud. I was never chosen for lack. I was chosen for divine overflow. Again, slower this time. I was never chosen for lack. I was chosen for divine overflow. Let the words move through your throat like a river. Let the old programming shatter beneath the weight of your remembrance. Your mother may have struggled. Your father may have feared. But you were born in the image of abundance. And the moment you speak it, you become it. This is not about motivation. This is not about mindset. This is spiritual reparenting. This is ancestral untangling. This is the unlearning of a lie so ancient, it forgot it was fiction. You were never the debt. You were never the delay. You were the decree waiting to be spoken. Close your eyes and go back. Before the numbers, before the bills, before the shame. Go back to when you were still light. Still untouched by the noise of this world. Still full of knowing. That version of you never doubted provision. She never questioned if she was worthy. She danced with the divine and called it normal. She breathed in certainty and exhaled overflow. And now she returns. She returns every time you say, lack is not my legacy. Write it. Whisper it. Let your nervous system memorize it. Let your body make room for the truth again. The lack you've been living was built by someone else's beliefs. Someone else's fear. Someone else's silence. And it ends with you. Let this transmission be a gentle rebellion. Soft uprising. You don't need to scream. You just need to speak. You just need to agree with what heaven already knows. That you are already enough. That supply is already written in your name. That overflow is not a destination. It is your DNA. Say this. I now return to my original knowing. The knowing that I am the current, not the condition. Say this. I no longer identify with struggle. I identify with sovereignty. Say this. I was never meant to survive. I was designed to radiate. You are not broken. You are breaking cycles. You are not empty. You are being emptied of everything that cannot come with you. You are being refined, not rejected. You are being summoned, not silenced. This is your burning bush moment. Your soul on sacred ground. Your finances held in divine flame, not to destroy you, but to anoint you. You are the one who stops apologizing for your enoughness. You are the one who stops saying, just a little, when the divine has already called you more than enough. And now, let your body rise. Let your breath deepen. Let your spine remember its royalty. Say it one more time with every cell in agreement. I was never chosen for lack. I was chosen for divine overflow. And if this truth sets something inside you free, type it now. Write it in the comments like a new covenant. Lack is not my legacy. Let the old you crumble. Let the old timelines dissolve. Let your finances come into alignment with your frequency, not your fear. You are not here to carry what was never yours. You are here to command what has always been waiting. And supply is already responding. You are not what you produce. You are not what you earn. You are not the number on a screen, the amount on a check, the digits in an account. You are a decree in motion, a living, breathing commandment of divine wealth. Supply is not your salary. It is not your job title. It is not your grind. Supply is spirit. And spirit does not respond to effort. It responds to embodiment. Let yourself breathe that in. Let it untangle you from the myth of performance. Let it liberate you from the cage of compensation. 'Cause you, beloved, were never meant to chase the thing you were born to carry. You were never designed to hustle for what is already within you. You were never created to convince money to love you. Money was made to remember you, to respond to the sound of your voice, to bow to your decree. Supply is not earned. It is spoken. You are the one who speaks it back into being. You are the atmosphere that wealth enters, the temple that provision visits, the frequency that opens the floodgates. Say it now. Supply is not earned, it is spoken. Again. Supply is not earned, it is spoken. This is the undoing of the old financial religion, the one that made you a worshipper of lack, a slave to survival, a martyr of your own magic. You were not put here to exchange hours for identity. You were not assigned the role of worker. You were appointed the role of creator, a sacred designer of reality, a voice, not a victim. Say this. I no longer perform for provision, I decree it. You have been sold the idea that action creates abundance. But it is alignment that unlocks it. Not pushing, not pleading, not proving, but presence. Presence with your divine truth. Presence with your I am. Money is a mirror, and it reflects not your labor, but your language. Not your sacrifice, but your self-concept. You want more wealth? Then speak from the place that already has it. Speak like the woman who knows she is the supply. Not someday. Not after the job. Not when the numbers add up. But now. In this breath. In this holy stillness. Say it again. Supply is not earned, it is spoken. Your voice is a wand. And every sentence is a spell. And every affirmation is a key. And every moment you agree with heaven, the gates open wider. You are not begging for blessings. You are embodying them. Let this be the moment you stop measuring your life in paychecks. Let this be the moment you stop counting hours and start counting vibrations. Let this be the moment you realize your worth was never in question, only your remembrance of it. Supply does not need your stress, needs your stillness, needs your certainty. It needs your spiritual self to rise and say, I am not the worker, I am the word. Say that again. I am not the worker, I am the word. This is the reversal of the world's pressure. This is the law behind the salary. This is the economy of heaven. Let it wash over you. Let it sink into your bones. Let it disrupt every false belief that said you had to do more to be more. No, beloved, you don't get paid because you exhaust yourself. You get paid because you expand into truth. You become a living permission slip for overflow. You become the vibration that abundance recognizes. Your income doesn't begin at the bank. It begins in your being. It begins the moment you stop hustling and start harmonizing. Say this out loud. My voice creates my income. Say it again. My voice creates my income. And again. Until your body believes it. Until your nervous system stops tightening around the idea of lack. Until your energy becomes a lighthouse for supply. This is what Florence meant when she said your word is your wand. This is what Neville meant when he said imagination creates reality. This is what Spirit is whispering now. You are not here to earn. You are here to embody. You are not here to chase. You are here to command. You are not here to hope. You are here to declare and receive. Feel the shift. Feel the old programming dissolving. Feel the spiritual inheritance rushing in to take its place. Say this now slowly. I now walk in divine provision. I now remember that money is my echo. I now speak from abundance, not about it. Let the sacred rhythm move through you. Let it crack open the places in you that thought more work meant more worth. Let it free you from the mental math of survival. You don't owe exhaustion to the universe. You owe it your embodiment. You don't owe the world proof. You owe yourself presence. And now, if your soul is rising in remembrance, if your spirit feels this prophecy returning to the surface, if your body finally feels safe to receive, then type it now in the comments. My voice creates my income. Let the declaration become your new devotion. Let the sentence become your spiritual salary. Let the echo of truth return to you with interest. Because supply is not earned. It is spoken. It is summoned. It is sent. And it is already moving in your direction. The shift has already begun. And this is just the beginning. There is a sound that reshapes the invisible. A vibration that heaven cannot ignore. It is not louder. It is not bolder. It is softer, simpler, truer. It is called thank you. And when you speak it from the soul, you are no longer surviving. You are summoning. You are not begging for more. You are blessing what already is. You are looking lack in the face and refusing to agree with it. 'Cause what you thank creates more of itself. Gratitude is not a pleasantry. It is a portal. It is not a mood. It is a multiplier. It is the language of already. And when you live there, when you root yourself in the frequency of thank you, the universe cannot help but echo it. Say it with breath now. Thank you. Say it again. Thank you. Let it be a holy hush that overtakes the fear. Let it interrupt the inner critic. Let it rise up in the places where you used to feel tightness. Let it soften your body into remembrance. You were never meant to be afraid of not enough. You were always meant to praise what is. Because what you praise, what you bless, blooms. What you thank, spans. Even the dollar in your hand, it listens to you. Even the coins in your drawer, they feel your reverence. Even the unpaid bill hears the tone in your voice. And when you meet money with thank you instead of fear, money remembers who you are. You are not the one who scrambles. You are the one who blesses. You are not the one who pleads. You are the one who praises. And this shift, this sacred switch from fear to gratitude, is what rewrites the frequency of your finances. Because gratitude is not reaction. It is remembrance. It is not reserved for after the miracle. Creates the miracle. It speaks as if. And the universe responds. So say this now. Every thank you is a doorway to more. Again. Slower. Deeper. Every thank you is a doorway to more. Let the vibration of that truth crack open the places in you that used to wait until someday to feel safe. Let it be the key that unlocks your daily overflow. You don't thank God because you are desperate. You thank God because you are in agreement with the outcome. You don't thank the money because you worship it. You thank the money because it remembers your worth. You don't say thank you because you have everything. You say thank you and then you watch everything multiply. This is the sacred paradox. Gratitude is how you begin receiving before it arrives. Because in truth, it has already arrived. And your thank you is how you hold the invisible in your hand. Let it be simple today. Look at what you do have. A breath, a body, the moment, the little that was never little. Thank the water. Thank the roof. Thank the shift. Thank the $1. Because the 1 becomes 10. And the 10 becomes flow. But only when it is seen. Only when it is honored. Only when it is acknowledged like it matters. Because Spirit watches how you treat the seed. Before it sends the tree. You are not being tested. You are being trusted. So show the universe what you do with a blessing. Show money that your hands are open. Show gratitude that it is welcome to stay. And every time you say thank you, a new supply line opens. A new provision is released. A new level of overflow remembers your name. Say this now. I receive by reverence. I expand through thanks. Let it soften your shoulders. Let it melt the scarcity. Let it rebuild your nervous system in the language of truth. You were not born to fear running out. You were born to witness the divine cycle of return. And gratitude is what keeps that cycle alive. Gratitude is the breath of abundance. Gratitude is the code that calls heaven closer. So speak it again. Every thank you is a doorway to more. And this time, don't just say it, feel it. Feel the softness rise in your chest. Feel the sacred safety that gratitude brings. Feel the knowing that you are no longer surviving. You are receiving. You are not trying to impress the universe. You are finally resting in alignment with it. Let that be enough today. Let thank you be your financial strategy. Let thank you be your wealth code. Let thank you be your miracle. Because gratitude doesn't need a reason. Creates one. And now, beloved, if this truth lives in you, if your soul feels the shift, if your spirit is remembering what it always knew, then type this now in the comments. Gratitude is my wealth code. Say it. Type it. Feel it. Let it be the prayer that never ends. Let it be the tone of your bank account. Let it be the altar you return to again and again and again. 'Cause what you thank creates more of itself. And what you praise will not leave you. And what you bless will bless you back. This is the new foundation. This is the new floor. This is the vibration where money lives. And it's yours now. You don't have to earn it. You just have to thank it. And so it is. There is a moment before the miracle. A stillness before the flood. A silence that waits for only one thing. Your word. The universe is not confused. It is not withholding. It is not guessing who you are. It is simply waiting for you to speak as the one who already knows. Not hoping, not hinting, not hesitating, but declaring. This is the fourth sacred law. The law of the spoken decree. And it cannot be bypassed by thought alone. Must be said, breathed, claimed, commanded. Because until you say it, stays asleep. Your wealth is not asleep because you are unworthy. It is asleep because your word has not yet awakened it. Say this softly now. My voice is the gate to wealth. Again slower. With reverence. My voice is the gate to wealth. This is not a metaphor. This is not a mindset. This is spiritual law. Heaven does not respond to hesitation. It responds to certainty. And certainty has a sound. It doesn't beg. Doesn't bargain. It doesn't ask for proof before it speaks. It speaks, and the proof arrives. It declares, and the supply rearranges. Commands, and heaven says yes. Because heaven already decided. But it waits for you to decide too. Not with logic, not with strategy, but with your word. The decree is the decision, and your wealth is waiting to hear it. You are not the beggar in this story. You are not the victim of delay. You are not at the mercy of outcomes. You are the voice that decides them. You are the tone that shapes them. You are the command that summons them. So stop asking for permission to be rich. Stop wondering if you're ready to receive. Stop treating your supply like a question mark. It is not a maybe. It is a memory. And your voice is the one that wakes it. Say this now. I decree abundance now. Say it again. Louder. Waiter. I decree abundance now. Do not whisper what was meant to shake the heavens. The universe moves at the speed of your conviction. Not your confusion. Not your conditioning. Not your cautiousness. But your command. And command is not about force. It's about frequency. It's about alignment. It's about standing in your I am and letting it speak for you. This is not a performance. This is a remembering. You came here to activate realities with your tongue. To name things that are not as though they were. To speak like someone whose inheritance is not in question. Because your voice is not a request. It is a registration. Every time you declare wealth, you are writing your name on the vibration of having. Every time you speak overflow, you are echoing what Spirit already spoke about you. You are not informing God. You are aligning with God. You are not convincing the universe. You are confirming it. And beloved, you have been quiet long enough. You have waited long enough. You have doubted long enough. You have hoped and hinted and hesitated long enough. But now is the moment you rise. Now is the moment you open your mouth and register your reality. Not because you see it, but because you said it. Not because it knocked on your door, but because you opened your gate with your decree. Say this again. My voice is the gate to wealth. You don't need to know how it arrives. You just need to know who you are. And who you are is the one who commands it. You are the shift. You are the door. You are the spoken frequency of divine supply. And when you stop waiting for the world to say yes to you, you start hearing heaven say, it is already done. But it cannot echo what you have not spoken, cannot multiply what you have not declared, cannot complete what you have not initiated. So speak now. Not with fear, but with fire. Not with doubt, but with dominion. You are not guessing anymore. You are grounding. You are not asking anymore. You are activating. You are not performing anymore. You are proclaiming. Say this aloud. I decree abundance now. If your body feels this truth, if your spirit recognizes its sound, if your soul is rising as you hear these words, type this in the comments now. I decree abundance now. Let it echo. Let it register. Let it ripple through every place you once whispered your worth. This is the holy moment. This is the divine permission. This is the spiritual authority that was always yours. You are no longer surviving. You are summoning. You are no longer waiting. You are wielding. You are no longer hiding. You are heard. And your decree is the doorway. So stand at that threshold. Open your mouth. Speak what was already promised. The universe is listening. Heaven is responding. Your wealth is remembering. Because you finally remembered. Your voice was the gate all along. And now it is open. And so it is. There is a silent altar in your body where two voices have long been worshipped. One, the whisper of fear. The other, the whisper of truth. And every time you chose silence over speech, caution over courage, shrinking over shining, you lit a candle to fear. But beloved, you were never created to serve a ghost. You were never called to kneel to the god of hesitation. You cannot serve two masters. And fear has pretended to be God for far too long. It dressed itself in logic. It wore the robes of safety. It spoke in the tone of just in case. But it was never protection. It was delay. It was deception. It was denial of the divine you. And every time you obeyed it, you postponed your inheritance. You silenced your decree. You paused your path. You waited not because you weren't ready, but because fear said, not yet. And you believed it. You believed the doubt. You believed the danger. You believed the story that staying small would keep you safe. But all it did was keep you separate. Separate from overflow. Separate from your I am. Separate from the wealth timelines that were waiting to be opened. By the sound of your courage. Fear isn't just a feeling. It is a frequency that feeds on your obedience. Doesn't grow because it's strong. Grows because you keep feeding it your silence. But today the silence ends. Today you stop bowing. Today you look the god of fear in the face. And walk right past it. You are not the child of fear. You are not the servant of survival. You are not the voice of delay. You are the gate. You are the decree. You are the one who is always meant to choose truth over trauma. Say this now. I no longer make fear my god. Let it echo. Let it quake through the parts of you that once obeyed survival like a religion. Let it rupture the altars where you once laid down your power. In the name of being practical, you do not need permission to rise. You do not need certainty to move. You need obedience, not to fear, but to truth. Because fear will always sound louder. Right before the miracle. It will dress up in your mother's voice. It will sound like your old teacher. It will wear the memory of an ex who told you to dim. But listen closer. Beneath that voice, there is another, one that does not shout, one that does not scare, one that simply waits. Like a soft wind at the door of your chest, saying, "This is the way. Walk in it." That is truth. And truth doesn't force. Truth doesn't panic. Truth doesn't demand. Simply invites and waits. It is always waiting for you to stop asking fear to bless you. You see, fear cannot bless you. Only blocks. Fear delays timelines. Fear closes doors. Fear tells you you're not worthy to ask, not ready to receive, not spiritual enough to command. But that was a lie. Lack is a lie. Delay is a lie. And fear is the biggest lie of them all. You were never called to calculate how safe it is to be you. You were called to be you, fully, loudly, boldly. And when you obey truth, you stop negotiating with your power. You stop asking old stories for permission to move. You stop watering weeds and calling it wisdom. You stop performing for approval and start walking in your divine assignment. Say this again. I no longer make fear my God. You are breaking vows now. Silent vows you made when you were 7. Subconscious contracts you signed with unworthiness. False altars you built in rooms of trauma. You are burning them down. With every breath, every word, every step. And you are choosing the real God now. The one who doesn't demand perfection before provision. The one who already called you chosen before you ever took a step. The one who never needed you to earn anything, only to declare it. Heaven is not waiting for your performance. It's waiting for your obedience. To truth. To vision. To voice. You obey truth every time you speak, even when your legs shake. You obey truth every time you invest in your future, even when fear says, save just in case. You obey truth every time you move toward overflow, even when your past screams, this is too good to be true. Because here is the truth, and let it wash you clean. Fear is not the protector. Fear is the postponement. In you are done postponing. If this calls something forward in you, if you feel the shiver of release in your body, type this now in the comments. I choose truth over trauma. Let the heavens see you. Let the timeline shift. Let your subconscious know. This time, you did not obey the fear. This time, you remembered. Remembered who you were. Before fear taught you to question everything. Before trauma became your map. Before hesitation became your home. You remembered that supply is spiritual. That overflow is your nature. That your truth was always the safest place. And from that truth, you now move. You do not wait. You do not explain. You do not stall. You walk. You rise. You command. Because obedience to fear cancels the flow. But obedience to truth unleashes it. And now the flood begins. And so it is. You keep praying for a door that is already open. You keep begging for what has already been delivered. You keep waiting for a sign when the answer has always been you. You were never supposed to earn it, beloved. You were supposed to agree with it. This is the moment you stop asking and start aligning. This is not about proving yourself anymore. It's about embodying what heaven already declared finished. You are the evidence of answered prayer. Say it softly. Say it like you mean it. I am the evidence of answered prayer. God already said yes. Now the question is, will you? You were not left behind. You were placed, held, positioned, hidden in plain sight until you remembered your divine name. You are not waiting on a breakthrough. You are the breakthrough. You are not waiting for abundance. You are the alignment it's been waiting for. Heaven is not negotiating with fear. It is waiting for you to match its decision, to walk like it's done, to breathe like it's finished, to speak like it's already yours. Your doubt does not rewrite the decree, and your fear doesn't void the blessing. The blessing was already spoken, long before you panicked, long before you performed, long before you tried to pray the perfect prayer with a perfect posture. Heaven decided, and now it waits, not with punishment, but with patience, like a mother who already set the table, waiting for her daughter to remember she belongs at it. You don't need more evidence. You need more embodiment. It is not permission you need. It is participation. Walk in. Sit down. Receive. The supply is not pending. The supply is not potential. The supply is spiritual, and it has already been released. You are not praying for provision. You are waking up to it. You are remembering it. You are declaring it now. Not because it's arriving, but because it was never withheld. Say this out loud. Heaven already decided. I now agree. When you hesitate, you delay what was already yours. When you shrink, you mute the echo of a fulfilled prophecy. When you overanalyze, you stop trusting that God meant what God said. You've been worshiping the waiting room and forgetting the throne. You've made delay your altar. You've made doubt your practice. But now you return to divine memory, where it was always done, where the yes was already spoken, where you don't have to keep knocking, you just need to walk through. Say this now with reverence. I am not a beggar in the temple. I am the answer to my own asking. You see, God is not moved by worry. God is moved by agreement, by divine confidence, by the frequency of already done. You've been asking when, but heaven's timeline is now. Not rushed, not pressured, but complete, whole, established. Every time you pray for something already given, you reinforce the illusion that it was ever missing. But what if nothing is missing? What if everything is memorized by your soul? And every delay was only doubt wearing a costume. You are not delayed. You are divine. And heaven already said yes. So what would shift if you did too? What would rise inside you if you stopped hesitating? What wealth would return home if you spoke like it's already here? What support would open up if you walked like you were already held? The supply is not waiting for your worth. It's waiting for your word. And the moment you match the decree, the floodgates respond. This is the power of sacred agreement. You are no longer performing for permission. You are remembering your place in a promise. The promise never left you. You just stopped speaking it. Till now. Say it again. Heaven already decided. I now agree. It's not arrogance. It's alignment. You're not faking faith. You're finishing what was started. This is the law of divine reflection. What is spiritually declared must manifest when you match it emotionally, energetically, and verbally. The universe can't override your free will. It will only echo what you agree to. So what are you echoing? What are you rehearsing? What are you silently agreeing with when you say, "It's too late. It's not working. I need more time"? Beloved, those are not neutral phrases. They are decrees. And the universe takes you seriously. Every whisper of fear is a script. Every repetition of "not yet" becomes your timeline. But you can rewrite it. Right now. With your voice. With your spine straight. With your heart soft. With your certainty louder than your confusion. Say it. I no longer ask for what God already gave. I receive what has always been mine. You are not trying to convince God to bless you. God is trying to convince you to believe it already happened. This is not a test. This is a turning point. Your destiny is not on layaway. Your wealth is not hypothetical. It is finished. Now let it be spoken. Let it be lived. Let it be remembered in your nervous system. Let it be practiced in your posture. Let it be known in your rhythm. When you speak from already having, the universe rearranges in obedience. Because what you declare becomes divine law in your world. And what you thank multiplies. So say this one more time from the bottom of your remembering. I am the evidence of answered prayer. Heaven already said yes. I say yes back. If you feel this remembrance in your bones, if you feel your doubt melting into faith, if you are ready to live as the one it already happened for, type these words in the comments. Heaven already said yes. Let the record show that you remembered. Let the timeline reflect your new agreement. Let your voice rewrite what your fear postponed. Let it be done. 'Cause it already is. And now you are. You speak. And the universe listens. Not with judgment, but with memory. It remembers what you declare more than what you desire. It echoes what you say, even when you think no one is listening. Especially when you think no one is listening. Your voice is not decoration. It is the instrument of divine creation. You are not just thinking abundance. You are birthing it with your breath. Every phrase is a prophecy. Every whisper is a wand. You are not just speaking to be heard. You are speaking to be rewritten. You are speaking to be remembered. Say this now. My decree is magnetic. It cannot return void. This is where your voice becomes the new currency. Where your language replaces your labor. Where your spoken identity shifts your silent shame. You no longer speak as a woman surviving. You speak as the one who carries divine wealth in her bones. You speak until your subconscious kneels. Until your nervous system remembers. Until your wallet no longer echoes lack, but echoes loyalty. Because wealth responds to remembrance. Not repetition. Lack is rehearsed. Abundance is embodied. And when you open your mouth in alignment, heaven opens its vaults in response. Not because you begged, but because you believed. There is no such thing as a casual word. Even your silence is a sentence. Even your breath is a prayer. So speak slowly. Speak intentionally. Speak like a woman who knows that reality is listening. You are not hoping for overflow. You are hosting it with your decree. You speak until money knows your name. You speak until your bank account bows to your voice. You speak until your rent becomes reverent and your invoices dissolve into answered prayer. This is not delusion. This is divine design. Your wealth has ears. And it has been trained by your repetition. It will not move until you move it. It will not return until you call it home. It will not serve until you speak as if you are already served. Say this out loud even if your mind resists it. I speak as the wealthy one now. Say it again. Even if you don't see it. Even if your history disagrees. Even if your bank account tries to argue. You're not speaking what you see. You're speaking what God already settled. You're not describing your reality. You're declaring it. Your words are not feedback, they are forward movement. They don't reflect, they construct. And if you keep rehearsing scarcity, scarcity will keep bowing to your devotion. But when you rehearse wealth, when you speak like you are already backed by the Most High, when you treat your voice like currency, the spiritual economy rearranges. Because you stopped doubting your decree and started dressing your words in divine intention. This is your wealth code. Feek, feek, feek. Even when it shakes. Even when it echoes. Even when you feel silly doing it alone in your room. Because the room isn't empty. The room is filled with witnesses. Your ancestors. Your past selves. Your future selves. All waiting for you to say it like you mean it. I now speak what heaven has already written. You are not performing a ritual. You are fulfilling a prophecy. You are not trying to manifest. You are remembering the supply that never left you. And your voice, yes, your sacred breath is the key. You were never voiceless. You were just silenced by survival. But now you rise. Now you speak wealth until wealth turns around and says, I remember you. You sound like home. Because that's what wealth is. Not a number. Not a paycheck. Not a job. Wealth is a frequency that waits for language to match it. And when it hears you speaking its native tongue, it responds like a lover who finally found you. So speak like someone who's done apologizing. Speak like someone who has nothing to prove, and everything to remember. Speak like a temple, like a storm, like the quiet knowing that lives beneath doubt. Your voice is a sanctuary, and wealth is drawn to sanctuary. You don't have to shout. You don't have to scream. You just have to be consistent. Speak daily. Speak gently. Speak fiercely. Until your words build a reality your trauma can no longer contradict. Say this now. My decree is magnetic. It cannot return void. And let that be your prayer. Let that be your strategy. Let that be your economy. You are not behind. You were just silent. You are not broken. You just forgot how powerful your mouth is. But now you know. Now you remember. You are not waiting on money. Money is waiting on sound. Your sound. Your softness. your sacred speech. So speak to your wallet like it's listening. Speak to your fridge like it's full. Speak to your purse like it's a portal. Speak to your bank account like it's responding in real time. 'Cause it is. 'Cause it always was. You are not making things up. You are calling things in. You are not playing pretend. You are playing prophet. And your prophecy begins with every word that chooses faith over fear. This is your moment of return. This is your moment of revoice, where you stop sounding like survival and start sounding like supply. Your tone changes. Your rhythm shifts. Your mouth becomes holy. You speak as if you've been crowned because you have. Speak wealth until it speaks back. And when it does, welcome it like an old friend. Because you never stop being worthy. You just stop being vocal. But now you know. If your words are shifting, if your reality is already bending in response, if you feel the wealth rising in your womb, then type this in the comments and let your decree echo in the spirit. I speak as the wealthy one now. Let it be written. Let it be felt. Let it be heard. Let it be yours. 'Cause it already is. And now, so are you. There is something ancient inside you. A whisper so persistent it kept surviving your silence. Kept living. Even when you buried it beneath logic. Even when you wrapped it in shame. Even when you called it too much. Too late. Too selfish. Too soon. But it kept breathing. Because desire is not a mistake. It is not rebellion. It is not ego. Desire is the voice of God in you. It is the echo of your divine design. The instruction embedded in your soul before your body ever took form. And it is time to stop silencing the sacred. You are not wrong for wanting. You are not broken for aching. You are not greedy for dreaming beyond what you've seen. You are not disqualified because of your doubt. Desire is the doorway. And heaven placed the key inside you, not outside. You don't need to earn the permission. You are the permission. Say this softly. But say it clearly. My desire is divine, and I no longer doubt it. Let those words wash over every apology you've ever whispered. Let them uncoil the guilt that was never yours to carry. Because when you apologize for your desire, you apologize for God's design. You say, I know better than spirit. You say, this longing must be wrong because I didn't see it growing up. You say, let me trade this calling for comfort. But comfort never made you come alive. Desire did. Desire, the holy ache that won't let you forget who you really are. Yes, there were people who told you to shrink. There were voices who trained you to settle. There were systems that programmed you to call smallness a virtue. But what if they were all wrong? What if your dreams were never delusions, but directions? What if your longing is the very language heaven responds to? What if your ache is your alignment? Breathe into that. Let the tears come if they need to. Let your body feel what your mind has tried to deny. Because you've spent years shrinking what was sacred. You've traded clarity for compliance. You've traded destiny for delay. You've traded truth for trauma. But not anymore. This is the moment you return to the voice inside you. The one that says, I want more. The one that whispers, I was made for this. The one that cries out in the quiet, I still believe it's possible. 'Cause belief is not weak. Hope is not naive. And desire is not dangerous. Desire is instruction. Desire is prophecy. Desire is remembrance. It is the way God leads you from the inside out. It is not there to tease you, it's there to teach you. To show you who you were before the world told you to be something else. Before shame disguised itself as humility. Before you were taught that to want is to sin. To dream is to rebel. To prosper is to betray. But I say to you now, want boldly. Desire fully. Dream loudly. Because heaven already said yes. Now you must say yes too. Say yes to your sacred longings. Say yes to your unapologetic becoming. Say yes to the wealth, the love, the expansion you stopped mentioning out loud. You didn't ask for too much. You asked with too much hesitation. But now your hesitation is melting into holy heat. The heat of a woman who knows she is called, who knows she is not random, who knows she is being guided by the very pulse of God within her. That pulse is desire. That hum in your chest when you think of a bigger life, that's not fantasy. That's prophecy rising. That's the blueprint remembering itself. Say it again like a vow. My desire is divine, and I no longer doubt it. And let the atmosphere respond. Let your frequency shift. Let the walls of "I shouldn't want this" come crashing down. Because you should want it. You're supposed to want it. It's not vanity. It's vision. It's not rebellion. It's reverence. You are finally honoring what you've always known. That you were not sent here to shrink. You were sent here to expand. And every desire is the map. Not the destination but the map. Not the guarantee but the guidance. And when you follow it, you walk with God. When you follow it, you meet yourself. When you follow it, you activate timelines that were dormant until you dared to say yes. This is the part where you stop asking if you're worthy. You are. This is the part where you stop wondering if it's selfish. It's not. This is the part where you stop confusing survival with safety. You are safe in the arms of your becoming. You are safe in the presence of your longing. Because God is not afraid of your desire. God placed it there. And God is waiting to see if you will trust it. Not just once, but daily. Through the doubt. Through the detour. Through the dryness. You still trust it. You still say, I was made for this. And if you feel this truth rising in your belly, if your heart just whispered, finally, if your body is remembering what your spirit never forgot, type this in the comments and let it be your decree. My desire is holy. Let it echo. Let it root. Let it be the beginning of your becoming. Because desire is not just the first step. It is the entire rhythm. And the moment you honor it, you return to the voice of God. And the voice of God has never been louder. Because it is now speaking through you. And you are finally listening. There is a kind of rest that rewires your reality. A rest that is not sleep, but surrender. A rest that is not weakness, but wealth in motion. This rest does not come from exhaustion. Comes from remembrance. Because you do not rest when you're done. You rest when you believe. And you, beloved, are allowed to believe. You are allowed to stop rushing. You are allowed to stop hustling. You are allowed to stop proving your right to receive what God already wrote into your timeline. The wealth that is yours does not respond to effort. It responds to identity. Does not follow force. Follows faith. Say it now with breath behind it. My rest is proof that I believe. Let your nervous system hear those words. Let your body remember the rhythm of peace. You were not designed to run endlessly. You were not created to chase your worth across deserts of burnout. You were not sent here to audition for abundance. You were chosen before you ever tried. And the woman who knows she's chosen, she rests. Not because there's nothing to do, but because nothing can undo her divine decision. You've been taught to associate rest with laziness. But that was a lie handed to you by fear. That was a script written by systems that profit off your exhaustion. That was programming meant to keep you chasing what you were born with. But no more. This is your reprogramming. This is your sacred return. This is your divine slowdown into sovereignty. Because rest is not the absence of movement. It is the presence of trust. Rest says, I already received it. Rest says, I don't need to force what is already flowing. Rest says, I let go, and I let God demonstrate. And when you rest, you step into a wealth frequency that performance can never touch. You open the door to timelines that move at the speed of spirit, not stress. You become magnetic not because you are doing more, but because you are finally aligned. Breathe. Breathe deeper. Let every breath announce your trust. Let every pause be a prayer. Because what you are calling in, what you are magnetizing, what you are ready to receive, does not require more sweat. It requires more surrender, more softness, more stillness, more remembering that you are not here to earn, you are here to allow. The woman who rests has already received, and you are that woman. You are the evidence of answered prayer. You are the one the old you prayed to become. You are the sacred arrival. And it's safe to stop sprinting now. It's safe to release the addiction to urgency. Safe to stop confusing chaos with creativity. You can build your wealth from quiet now. You can become from stillness now. You can listen for heaven's rhythm. And follow that. Because divine wealth doesn't rush. It arrives. And when it does, it finds the one who has made rest her receiving posture. Type this now in the comments if your soul feels this truth. Rest is my receiving posture. Let it anchor in you. Let it undo what years of proving taught you. Let it melt every memory that said you're only valuable if you're busy. Because that was survival. And you are no longer surviving. You are being supplied. Your supply is spiritual. Not scheduled. Not struggled for. Not calculated. It flows from divine timing. And divine timing is not late. It's layered. It's sacred. It's structured around the healing of your nervous system. Not the demands of the world. So rest, beloved. Rest like someone who already knows it's hers. Rest like someone who has already been seen. Rest like someone who is already becoming what she asked for. And let your rest be loud. Let your stillness speak louder than any strategy. Let your silence carry the weight of certainty. 'Cause this is not passive. This is prophetic. This is not giving up. This is rising. You are saying to the universe, I no longer serve the God of hustle. I serve the God who heard me the first time. You are saying, I am not afraid of pauses, because I no longer confuse delay with denial. You are saying, I trust the frequency of faith more than the pressure of performance. This is your rest. This is your rhythm now. This is your soft wealth frequency. And this softness is strength. Because to rest in a world that worships speed is not easy. It is holy. It is a rebellion. It is a remembrance that heaven already decided. And you are simply matching it. So rest, daughter. Rest in your worth. Rest in your wealth. Rest in your I am. Let it be known in heaven and earth. You do not need to chase. You do not need to prove. You only need to align. An alignment is the softest, strongest place you could ever stand. If you are ready to live from that place. If your body is already releasing. If your spirit is saying, finally. Say this aloud, softly. My rest is proof that I believe. Let it ring like a bell in your bloodstream. Let it echo through your bones. Let it become your new normal. Because in this sacred life, rest is not what happens after the miracle. Rest is what calls the miracle in. And it is already on the way. You thought supply was something you summoned, something distant, something you had to prove you were worthy of. But Spirit speaks now and says, it was never outside you. You were always the supply. The source was never separate. The current didn't flow toward you. It flowed from within you. You were the river, not the one thirsty beside it. You were the field, not the beggar in the drought. You were the breath, not the one gasping for air. And now, you remember. Now the veil is thin. Now the old spell of separation loses its grip. Now the truth returns. In sacred rhythm. You are not someone supply visits. You are who supply is. Say this aloud with holy pause between every word. I am divine supply, I now remember. And when you say it, let your body feel what your mind was taught to forget. Let your nervous system unlearn the lie of lack. Let your subconscious remember Eden. Because the great forgetting has ended. You are no longer trying to get what you already carry. No longer waiting for wealth to knock. No longer praying for something heaven already deposited in your design. No longer chasing a frequency that you were born as. You are the frequency. You are the currency. You are the decree, the channel, the code. And the day you believe this, money changes forever. It becomes a mirror, not a master. It reflects you, echoes you, obeys you. It comes not because you are working harder, but because you are walking clearer. You don't manifest wealth. You remember it. You don't earn value. You embody it. You don't call in abundance. You become the vessel it can't ignore. Let this drop into your chest. You were never under money's mercy. It was under your identity the whole time. Money doesn't choose who it serves. It follows who knows their supply. And now you know. Now you walk as remembrance. Now you speak as source. Now you breathe as the one who no longer waits. Because waiting implies distance. And there is none. You were the one you were waiting on. The abundance you seek has been seeking the version of you who stopped seeking. Shows up when you shift. Not when you strive. And you just shifted. So breathe again. Inhale like someone who is the answer. Exhale like someone who was never the question. And say again with presence. I am divine supply, I now remember. Feel how those words rearrange the molecules around you. Feel how your field changes. How the atmosphere listens. 'Cause it does. Heaven heard you the first time. Supply has been listening not for your effort, but for your energy. It has been scanning for one sound only. The vibration of someone who knows. And now that you know, now that you remember, now that you walk not as the seeker but as the source, must respond. This is the law. This is the design. This is the homecoming. And there is no turning back now. You cannot unknow the knowing. You cannot unbe the supply. You cannot unspeak the decree. You have walked through the valley of survival, but you did not stay there. You passed through shame, scarcity, striving, but they do not own your name. And now, you return. Not to who you were, but to who you are. You speak differently now. You breathe differently now. You move not in panic, but in prophecy. You release the grip. You let go of the hustle. You walk like one who remembers. I was always the source. If this truth is vibrating in your bones, if your body is nodding while your mind is still catching up, if something old just fell away in your chest, then type this now in the comments. I was always the source. Let it echo in the ethers. Let it be seen, witnessed, known. Because the moment you claim this, your reality shifts timelines. You begin to emanate. You begin to radiate. You begin to magnetize what once ignored you. Not because it changed, but because you did. Money begins to recognize you. It remembers the original agreement. The covenant made before birth. That you would come into this world as a light encoded with supply. And that one day, you would wake up. You would stop praying like a beggar and start declaring like a builder. You would stop waiting for permission and start moving like prophecy. You would stop shrinking to survive and start expanding to serve. And now you have. This is that day. This is that hour. This is the turning. And every time you forget, come back to this phrase. I am divine supply, I now remember. Say it over your wallet, over your bank statements, over your ideas, over your voice, over your silence. Say it when fear whispers that you're behind. Say it when old systems ask you to perform again. Say it when your body wants to collapse back into the old identity. Because that version of you, the one who thought supply was somewhere else, she is gone. She is integrated. She is dissolved in light. And the you that remains, she knows. She knows that abundance is not something she gets. Something she gives off. She knows that wealth is not something she stores. Something she embodies. She knows that being the source does not mean she has to carry it all. It means she channels it all. Flows through her. Not to prove anything. Not to impress anyone. But because heaven trusts her remembrance. Heaven trusts her hands. Heaven trusts her frequency. And heaven already said yes. Now she matches it. Now she lives it. Now she becomes it. So when the old scarcity patterns knock, whisper this. I am divine supply, I now remember. And the lie will melt. The fear will lose voice. The atmosphere will shift. And your path will part like Red Sea. Because supply never left. It was waiting for you to stop running, to stop begging, to stop forgetting, and finally, to remember. You were always the supply.